Hello, mic check. So I'm not sure why I'm not getting any audio, but regardless, we're gonna try to make this video pretty quick. Um, I think I was having some audio issues earlier. Getting right into it. Let's see. So starting with the dollar, everybody should be aware of where we've been, where we've come from, and how we got here. It's going up or it has went up, and I've reached mo- you know all of the targets I had except for Bitcoin. I mean, the Nasdaq over the last week or so, it got down into the 11 sixes. Bitcoin, it has sold off. Euro, Amazon, I know I said 1900, it got down to like 2000. um, what else do we have here? Just covering some of so that my next point will be understood. Tesla. I remember we were looking at Tesla, and I said that it was in this parabola, and that I thought it would bounce in between there. Well, it's grabbed its white line right there. I think somewhere else I had it like I had the squigglies and this white line going over and until 2023. I'm not sure where that line is. But we're all aware. So we've reached targets. Was there anything else? Twitter. I don't know if I mentioned it on here, but yeah, we had a nice gap fill on Twitter. I think it'll go lower. You should get it around 35 or so soon. GM Luna next. But basically the whole gist of it is Bitcoin. I don't know if I covered Bitcoin on this video. But we've had major sell-offs. And the dollar is it's at resistance. Now, I do feel like, while we have got targets, especially on Nasdaq, that delivered price beautifully. But when it comes to Bitcoin, when it comes to Amazon not quite getting there, um, I still think we could go lower, but I also feel like, a bounce is overdue. So that has me stuck, not really, I'm not really trying. I set an alarm up here. This is the absolute high where I think the dollar will go to before it can retrace some. Um, but I actually don't have like total conviction on any direction the market will go in the short term. I mean, I know, and when I say short term, I mean, the next week or two. Long term, I still think we have some downside targets that we need to hit, and I also feel like we could bounce. So that has me on edge as far as where I see things going. That's what happens when you hit targets. You 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 enter a trade, you find out what your stop is first, and then you decide where it's likely to reach and expand to, and then where do you want to enter as close to your stop. That's the definition. That's how I define a trade. Well, I've reached my target on 80% of the assets that I cover on a regular, with the exception of Bitcoin. um so that just means you sit and wait on a trade to develop. And that's not easy to do because you always want to be in the market, but sometimes no position at all is an actual trade, right? Like, we've made some money over this run up, a decent amount actually, on the dollar. It could continue. That would be crazy if it continued, but it is in the cards. I would like to see a retrace and then, continue up, but I mean, we're pretty much on a parabolic uptrend on the dollar. You could see it. I don't know if you see it, but I see a huge parabola pretty much right there, right? Like that's a parabolic uptrend. So, and I think I had this drawn on one of my early charts, and you don't have to, draw it all, but the dollar could come down and test this parabolic range and before it goes up higher. So, you know, or it could go sideways, or I could just continue up higher. Now, there's a lot of things that could go. So until I get, if we come down here and the markets rally and then we go up, that's a total, I'm going all in short. If we go up, and I feel like we're gonna hit this area that I have an alarm on, then I'm all in long because the market will have dipped, had a nice capitulation sell off, so but right here in the middle of this range, there's not much that I could do with it. I know if you just paid attention to just crossovers alone, let's see what they're looking like. And I'm gonna keep this video short. I'm not just gonna ramble on about how I'm not sure what's gonna happen next week. I think I've said that, and we'll just pick up here, next Sunday. Um, we still have some bullishness on the dollar to the left. With that said, we could still come down to, before we execute those bullish moves. But in the shorter time frames, we're extended, so we could come down or we could, continue to rally harder. My Nasdaq, it's dumped. I feel like it's just up in the air. So I think with that being said, I'm gonna cut this video short. Uh I think I was speaking of shorts, I was supposed to cover short selling, which I will do. I had a gentleman ask me about making creating a video about that. That's I wanted if when I cover that, I'd like to yeah, so I'm gonna do that in the near future. Apologize for not doing it now. If you've made it to the end of this one, I apologize about that. Life got busy. Um, but yeah, we're just gonna wrap this video up shorts. And as far as my forecast, I think this is a sit on your hands type week. You may see some extended, awesome trades in either direction, right? But that doesn't mean you have to participate until you want to trade with the trend. And I just feel like we're at an inflection point, and that's the point where a trend could reverse or a trend could continue. But in that inflection point, you usually see a lot of choppy, volatile action. That if you're a scalper or a short time frame trader, that's fine. You could get in for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But if you want to put on some size and get a nice position and make some comfortable profits, then that's hard to do at an inflection point, right? So, but when you get those right, at an inflection point, it is nice. But with that being said, I think we're gonna cut this video short here. I'm gonna be looking for some pops to sell and some drops to buy. That's pretty much where I am on this one. Um, Anyway, trade well, trade smart, trade on. ODK out.